If you are a boy and if you are like pursuing a designing, so people generally say कि like तूने तो टेलर शॉप ही ओपन करनी है और like तुझे करना ही क्या है, डिजाइनिंग तो कर ही क्यों रहा है. People just keep on saying like you won't be able to do that, there is nothing in designing. If you are a boy, then this industry is full with girls and these things happen.
We have Paras Aneja with us today. He's a fashion designer plus illustrator. Today we'll have a conversation with him regarding his passion for the fashion illustrations plus design. So, hi Paras, how are you?
Yeah, hi Saloni, I'm good. What about you?
I'm also great. So, I wanted to know a few things. So, first of all, I would like to know, how much do you think it's important to give importance to a particular segment? Like you're just giving importance to the fashion illustrations and not the other things around the fashion, like I would say pattern making and all, embroidery, I can include. So, how much do you think it's important that you focus just on one segment and not the others around?
See, like as a designer, it's like important to focus on each and every segment. Okay, it totally depend upon you. Okay, how you pursue in future. Basically, when you start with the designing, you need to like understand even the patterns, the silhouettes, your embroideries, and the pattern making as well. So in my initial stage, I was like doing everything together because I was working as a assistant designer, and as an assistant designer, you need to assist the designer with all the positions which is there, like regarding the production, regarding the design making, or like introducing new products, or even it comes under a marketing also. So in initial we need to like do everything, but then I like focus much on like illustrations part and like my production thing. So then I started doing illustrations more. I found my interest there and I started earning individually as a illustrator. So then I focus much on like illustration apart from like other things, then automatically it generally grew up and I was getting the clients also and demand was rising. So I focused much more on illustrations apart from like other segments. So that's how it begins.
Okay, so like we're talking about the segments, as we've discussed, like fashion designers have many segments. So why digital illustrations? Why not any other thing? Like you tried everything else, you tried embroidery, pattern making, and all, and then you decided to go for the digital illustration, or it was just decided that I have to do the digital illustration?
No, like when I started, it was never like a plan to just go all in for illustrations. So it happened eventually, like when I started working. So when I was working, I was like doing much into like productions, the patterns making, and introducing new products. That was like my initiative earlier. But then I found key illustrations are very core and very have a very role importance in terms of design process. So I was starting doing like illustrations for like my brand where I was working. Then I keep on posting that thing over my Instagram pages and all, and other brands also started contacted me. And then I like realized ki not all the designers has the facility of like illustrators and this digital illustration. Then I started like serving for other designers also. Then that's how this illustration segment has started. And then I keep on getting good clients for illustration. Then I started working for other brands also, and that's how it grew up. And then I like keep on doing it more and more as like the things grow up for me.
Okay, nice. And like your schooling is from Rohtak, and after that you've done a different course, like you have done BCom from Rohtak only, and then you pursued the designing diploma, fashion designing diploma. So, what were your career choices initially? Like, what were your choices, career choices when you were doing BCom? Did you have this in mind that I have to go to that field, or?
See, I was like very good at studies. Like in my 12th, I was from a commerce background. So I understand finance, marketing, and accounting. That was my core subject in my school time. I scored like very good marks in the accounts as well. So then I thought ki like I will be pursuing BCom only and will maybe I was thinking of CA as an option because my family has like financial background only. So my goal was not a designing like earlier, but then I started doing the BCom thing, and then after like 2 3 months only I realized that in BCom there are not much things to explore. It's more about like studies and about the corporate culture. So then I thought ki let's discover out of something box. So my mother dream was there to like be a designer or to open a like own boutique. She was like having on a boutique like a very long. So it was her dream. So I started like कि चलो let's do something in this also. So my mother was like कि you learn designing. मतलब if you don't do much into designing, if you go into like your jobs and your like finance background also, then also we will open a small boutique. That was the only reason I started designing. But the designing is a like huge career. If you go over designing, if you give all in towards that, you will explore a lot of other opportunities. When you go all in the designing, so you discover there are a lot of like other opportunities available to you. And when I started designing, like it was a very small private institute, so I thought ki there are not much opportunities, there are not even jobs for like diploma holders and all. And I was coming from commerce background, so drawing was very tough. That's why I never did like manual illustrations properly by heart. Then that's why I did digital
Mm-hmm.
illustration mostly. And then when I came to like know about these internships and the brand starting and like working into like events stores, so it generally fascinated me, and I started working with an event company initially. That's how like this designing career started. And I was working as a backstage, then I shifted to a lot of like internships. I was working with one of my friends, she started her own brand. Then I moved to different internships, and that's how, and then I completed my course as well. And then like commerce was like doing, I was like going to my colleges giving exams. Some days I was even attending the classes for like BCom, but the main focus I did for like designing much. And then I completed my BCom, then I was like working as like
Mm-hmm.
designer. I joined a job as a bridal designer earlier, and that's how like career shift happened for me.
Okay, so like you've just mentioned that
Mhm.
you did your fashion designing course from a private institute,
Mhm.
which is not much reputed, I
Yeah,
guess.
definitely.
Okay, so how much do you think it's important to get admission into a reputed named
Mhm.
institute and not just anyone which is providing a course, or does it really depends on the
Mhm.
skills of the
Yeah,
student who's interested in doing something, who has a
taking it.
passion for something?
See, it happens, see, names and all, when you talk about colleges, when you think about companies hiring these people, so these things also there in the industry, we can't like directly say no, ki these things are not there. It is still there. But the main thing which I have experienced, I never got, no one said me no just because I'm from a small college. I never heard this thing from like my job interviews or my like
Your work
wherever,
spoke about it.
I
Mhm.
was like applying for a job. Mostly people like consider like working, like seeing your portfolio, seeing your skills, how
Mhm.
exactly you work, what is your design process, and what all like things you have already done, like if you have worked with some brands or not. So these things matter much, which I believe also. So colleges matters, but at a very initial stage, when you're looking for like first internship, when you're looking for first job, then like brands think if you are from a reputed college, you must be having the skills better. But it's not that. If that college is reputed, that doesn't mean कि that college will teach you much better than a small
But
college.
that's the image
That's the
students have,
image and
aspiring students
which
have.
has become.
Yeah.
Because, but personally believe instead of a bigger college, you will learn better in like smaller college,
Mhm.
because they are not playing on their names, they are playing on the students. They are betting on their students, because
Yeah.
bigger colleges already have their alumni, they
Mhm.
already have their name, so
Mhm.
they don't need to build much. But smaller colleges like focus on each and every student.
Mhm.
That's what I personally believe, and I believe if any student is from a small college or from like bigger college, doesn't matter. If you work on your skills, if you make your portfolio a little more impressive, and you started working for like some brands, internships, and like a small couple of projects, if you start taking in your colleges, that will make your portfolio more impressive, and you will be able to get a good job. See, it doesn't matter if the college is bigger or smaller. Generally, it happens that both of the colleges like focus much on students. So it matters, like if it is a small college, doesn't matter, that college will not teach. That college will also invested your time, and like, teachers are there, like all the reputed teachers are there. So they will teach you much better. So it doesn't matter if you are from a smaller college or from a bigger college.
Being a boy, and that too in fashion, like you belong to Rohtak.
Mhm.
I'm also from Rohtak, so I can see like people criticize
Hmm.
more than they support the boys in fashion. Like
Yeah.
they're more like कि टेलर बन जाएगा, स्टिचिंग
Hmm.
दर्जी बन जाएगा, यही
Hmm.
चीजें.
Yeah, definitely.
But they don't like support you.
Hmm.
But as you told previously, your parents supported you
Hmm.
through the decision of fashion.
Yeah.
So what did you face except from the family background, like from the family support? What else did you faced in your journey?
So this is something which is like a true in this industry. there are a lot of people like feel ki matlab if you are not even a boy, then also they feel ki you will be becoming a tailor after this, and matlab this is something which is there in like common people mind. And if you are a boy and if you are like pursuing a designing, so people generally say कि like तूने तो टेलर शॉप ही ओपन करनी है, और लाइक तुझे करना ही क्या है, डिजाइनिंग तो कर ही क्यों रहा है. मतलब इट हैपेंस, मतलब फॉर मी तो इट हैपेंड अ लॉट बिकॉज माय फैमिली वाज फ्रॉम अ कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड. सो मेरी फैमिली को होता था कि तू बिजनेस ज्वाइन कर, मतलब इंस्टेड ऑफ डूइंग दैट, and people feel ki like designing is just like a piece of shit, but the people just say like that only. Okay, so it happens matlab. So in my time when I was like doing designing, I wanted to learn something apart from my college. That was my thing. Okay, so I thought ki I need to understand like how the patterns are done, how the garment construction is done. Okay, and being a boy, if you go to somewhere like, mostly I'm from a small city. Okay, matlab if you want to learn a garment construction, so you need to learn from aunties, the people like who stitch the garments
And
like
nearby
locally.
boutiques.
Huh. So that was something whether I need to search there, and if I go there, they will be like, "Ki, you are a boy, we won't teach that. We teach only to the girls." So these things happen. This is just a one part, and apart from that, people just keep on saying like, you won't be able to do that. There is nothing in designing. If you are a boy, then this industry is full with girls, and these things happen. Okay, but for me, I personally abhi believe ki if you work nicely, if you start getting the good opportunities, so automatically it happens. मतलब आपकी जब फर्स्ट सैलरी आती है या आपको एक अच्छी जॉब मिल जाती है, तो automatically people start believing in you, and they will come up to you and like ask for like your guidance, and these things happen. मतलब when I started, people were like there to criticize me a lot, and now it's a small town. I live in very small town, so a lot of people know कि I do designing. So a lot of people come from my family and like my family friends ki like he has done designing, he is doing good. Ask him ki how the designing work. If we want to pursue designing, so how we can do. So these things happen. It is something you start working hard. Do not think about these things like these are bullshit. But I personally believe, okay, don't focus on the negative side. Just focus on your hard work and make it work nicely. And automatically, when you start getting opportunities, so your work will be appreciated.
How much do you think self-learning is a part of your journey?
So I too personally believe if you are into designing or any creative field, so self-learning is most important.
Because
Okay.
colleges can't cover all the
Yeah,
syllabus
definitely.
anywhere.
Matlab, the colleges have their curriculum. Okay, every college have their own curriculum. They will follow that only. But for example, if a college has a curriculum of teaching like pattern making of 5 garments, for example, so you want to learn the seventh one. So matlab, teachers don't won't teach you. Na? Teachers will follow their curriculum because already a lot of other student is there. People need to, but the teachers need to follow all student thing. Okay, but if you want to learn something apart from like your college, you have to do self-learning. Because I remember in my college there was a no concept of digital illustration, and when I started doing digital illustration, there was only one software used, like that was a Corel Draw, and in that there was not much effects even to use. Okay, and to because I have a very good interest in like technology and this digital part. So in 2017, I'm speaking. So that time, I have a very small laptop also that period. So I thought, okay, I want to do digital illustration. There was a lot of videos available on YouTube. Okay, not Indians, but there was an international illustrator were doing, and there was a, like people using iPad. I was like not in a moment to afford the iPad, so I thought, okay, I will learn these softwares. So I started learning graphic designing. That too on YouTube, and like anywhere I was getting like 1 day, 2 day workshop nearby in Delhi. That's how I was like learning these softwares. And I just learned the basic tools of the software, and to making that software run into your illustration. So that was tough for me. So I did everything like self-learning. Some videos I found on like YouTube, some tutorials I found like by self-learning or like exploring a lot of things. So self-learning is very important. And even like when I talk about pattern making, I was like, my mother was there. Okay, so my mother was like कि अगर तुझे कॉलर कैसे स्टिच होता है अगर नहीं आता तो कॉलर बना कैसे लेगा, मतलब डिजाइन कैसे कर लेगा. So that thing hit me. Okay, I thought कि I will be learning garment construction, but मुझे था कि like मेरे कॉलेज में नहीं सिखाते थे. Okay, so then I started learning these things outside. Okay, so मतलब these things you have to do. You have to apply the efforts. If you don't know how to deal the clients, then also you need to go outside and learn, because college so won't bring the clients here and teach you कि चलो talk with clients. But you have to visit boutiques, you have to work for them for free or maybe for some pay scale, and then you need to learn how to attend like clients. Self-learning is very important part of any creative field if you are working.
Next, initially, if a student of any field, I would say, be it fashion design or
Mhm.
any other course, what students generally do is they compare their work
Mhm.
either to their friends or through online, like
Mhm.
that the other one is much better than mine.
Mhm.
So they kind of demotivates themselves through this
Mhm.
part, and they generally stop pursuing what they like. Like
Mhm.
if a student loves
Mhm.
sketching,
Yeah.
but he compares it to his other friends, his or her other
Yeah.
friends, and he gets demotivated, like
Mhm.
उसका तो काम में से बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा
Yeah,
है.
definitely.
तो उस चीज को कैसे निग्लेक्ट कर सकते हैं कि नहीं, कि स्टूडेंट्स आगे बढ़ते ही रहें, इस चीज को ना सोचे कि दूसरे का कितना अच्छा है और हमारा कैसा है.
See, I to believe कि if you are a very at a young generation thing, okay, if you have just started your career, so these things happen because मतलब students are not that much mature enough to realize कि their work and their individual work matters. मतलब it doesn't matter कि how others are doing, but in an initial stage these things happen. मतलब when I was in a college, there was like people come and my classmates were like making illustration through Pinterest. They used to click
Yeah.
pictures and they
Mm-hmm.
used to make illustrations directly from there, and then they used to compare ki how much detailing you have done. Not about designing even. They were comparing ki how much good artistic work has been done. So these things happen, and we used to fight ki we will be doing that thing better. But when you come to a little at a stage, then you realize ki it doesn't matter ki how much like good illustration you do. It matters ki how you are conveying your designs to the illustrations. So that thing eventually come. That maturity we need to develop ki we are not here to compare with other people. We need to just make our own profile strong and our own skills strong. So that's how things will work better for us. Not by comparing from anyone, because you don't know the level of people.
Mm-hmm.
If he or she is your classmate, you feel ki he is like equal to you, but maybe he is learning something from outside which you are not doing. That's why he can be doing better than you. So if you feel that that person is doing better than you, then you should start improving yourself instead of
Mm-hmm.
like comparing or like things, which I personally believe.
Okay. So, what is perfection according to you? Like you're doing illustrations currently, and you've been doing them for a long time. So, you must have upgraded your illustrations from the initial to the best stage right now. So, do you think you can achieve more perfection in the coming time for illustrations?
See, in illustration or any artistic work, I believe there is like you are never at your perfection level. You are never perfect. You always lack in some techniques, because I personally believe I keep on checking other illustrators' work, or like mostly outside India also. But these people do a different kind of work from us, because our styling of like garments, our fashion sense is different. So that's how we reflect that thing in our work. And their fashion sense is different. So they reflect their work, and it comes like difference in comes of illustration like styles also, because our is
Mm-hmm.
different, there is different. So I personally believe ki perfection is something I to haven't achieved that abhi, but I need to keep on improving. More and more effects, if you keep on trying on illustration, that's how you will keep improving. I remember a story. I never got any bridal illustration order in my initial period, but bridal like work is my favorite. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
love doing bridals. I have spent like 2 years in the bridals. Okay, so I love the embroidery. I love the textures of bridals. So I thought, okay, I will when I will get the bridal wear work. But when I got my first client of bridal illustration, that time I got like panic. Ki I will not be able to do this because that effect was so tough. There was like tone on tone, threads are there. There was a, like a shimmer work, but that work was so much like intricate. Okay, then I thought, yeah, I won't be able to do these effects.
Mm-hmm.
These are not my like thing, because I haven't tried that. Okay, then I spent I think 12, 14 hours on that illustration, and at the end of the day, I made that illustration. These things happen. Perfection. I was thinking earlier कि I am very perfect with the illustration.
Mm-hmm.
But when that work come to me, I thought कि no, I won't be able to do that. But when I spend the time, when I like research a little bit about effects more, and that if because in Photoshop there are a lot of like layer effects, there are a lot
Mm-hmm.
of effects of shimmer and all. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I discovered, and then I made it perfect. So that's how it works.
Do you ever get bored of the illustrations or you're making? Like, what keeps you motivated? If you get.
Personally, though, I never get bored of like what basically I do work, because
Mm-hmm.
I choose to work this after like long, like a full-time job. So matlab, these things happen. Matlab, I get bored, tired of working from home. These things happen for me. And if I'm doing similar kind of project again and again, so then it happens. Matlab, if I'm getting like all the way flat sketches, like I'm doing flat sketches from 7 days, then I get bored. But the flat sketches are so technical, you need to focus on technical creativity, get like lost it there. So mostly like that. And motivation, something comes to me like if I honestly say, that is money only, because I love to spend money. So I keep on working hard, so as much as I can earn, then I can spend on my.
There must be a time you must face a creativity block, like you're just
Yeah.
blank that I'm not getting any idea for the client or anybody you're working for, or for yourself, even for yourself. So, what do you do in these times?
So it happens, matlab, creative block is like a part of the this artistic journey. So I generally prefer like taking a rest or taking a break, but sometimes there are like lot of deadlines. You can't even take a break. Matlab, my clients are so cooperative, so I can just message them. They generally agree on like taking the work 1 day or 2 day before. So these things happen, matlab, but still sometimes there is no situation to take a break. So then you need to deal with that. So I generally practice on like looking at my old previous work, how I've done that. Generally, I make a note of like illustration. So basically, not a basic illustration, but if I work for some clients, if I make like, for example, if I make one illustration with different effects, if different silhouettes, so then I generally make a note ki this thing I've done with this thing and this thing, because always when you make new illustration, you get a new effects, new techniques. So I keep on making notes. Then I generally go to that notebook, then I see the notes, and that's how I develop my patience level again, and then I start working. That's how it happens.
So, people know you for digital illustrations, but people might not know that you also have a sampling unit and you also work for big brands. How did that idea came up to you? Like apart from illustrations, how did you come up that I should also do this part of side business?
Yeah, so this thing started when I was like doing my first job. Matlab, I was in Punjab, so then I shifted to Hyderabad. I was there in Hyderabad. So when I was in Hyderabad, I started working with that brand. That brand was so small when I started. And matlab, I personally can say that I've built that brand. I've seen that how the brand has been built. So matlab, I've spent like 1 year there and like understood how the brand like building started and all. So then I started my own brand also. Matlab, my goal was not to like make a proper label and all. I was just doing some manufacturing, just making some designs and testing out in exhibitions. I used to sell in exhibitions, and I used to sell also in like e-commerce platform, but mostly my selling was happening through like exhibitions. So when I like, it was like going fine. I'm telling you about the before COVID period, and then COVID happened, so exhibitions were stopped. Okay, I was thinking to get into e-commerce, but I was not well versed with that much funds also, and with the like knowledge also. So I was very skeptical ki should I invest that much money in e-commerce, because that time ads were so higher and like digital marketers were so high. So I thought ki let's take a step back from like running a my label now. Okay, so then I thought ki like I won't be like stopping my unit, because that unit was so I've spent a lot of money there and a lot of efforts there to run that thing, and my carigars were there, so I was paying salary from my like my pocket for 1 or 2 months. And then I thought ki matlab, I need to run that, matlab, I don't need to stop that, because it happens because carigars were there, they have came from like Bihar and like working from me. I thought ki matlab, this is a COVID period, if I stop here, so how they will survive and they will go. So then I started like taking orders for uniforms. That's how that unit started into manufacturing. So we used to take uniform orders and just to survive the unit. And that's how it started. Then I like talked with a lot of like other brands where I worked earlier. So then I got some pieces for like their sampling and their manufacturing. So that's how it has started. But it took like 1 year to like stabilize that unit. And now we are working with very big brands for like sampling for them. That's how the unit is. Currently that unit has like around 50 to 100 carigars. But we generally go like that, but still it's working nice.
That's great. So far, how's your experience at Budha Group of Institutions as a guest faculty for the digital workshop? How are you feeling? What do you like about the institute and all?
Yeah, first of all, like thank you for the invitation here. I like spent a very good time here with the students and with the faculty you guys have. The best thing I like about this college, when I entered and when I like attended the workshop and all. So I found that this college is like very friendly in terms of like treating the students, and even the faculty members are like very good with each other. But generally, I don't find that in like most of the college. Matlab, there are a lot of like clashes going on under the matlab, happen like politics and all college politics. But that thing I liked about this college, and apart from that, the support. Like I was hearing a conversation with you guys with the HOD ki you will be providing fabrics to the students for like shows and all. This kind of support I believe ki it's very good for like students to like grow and even to understand that college is like considering us for like doing something. So it happens. That thing I liked about the college, and overall the college is like very good infrastructure, the studio labs what you guys have, and it's very good. You guys have like invited me also here to like teach the extra things here, because well, not a lot of colleges even focus on digital part. That is a very crucial thing nowadays. Not a lot of colleges even teach the digital illustration, so that is something it's a good for you. Yeah, one more thing I would like to add up, because in my like college period we were not having that much opportunity even to learn these illustration skills, and we need to like struggle, go outside and like think of like other colleges and all. And that's the best thing about your college. You have invited me here and other teachers you guys invite to like teach them extra skills which are not even there in the curriculum. That is something best for the students also. And for you guys also, the students are learning better and they will actually achieve a higher success in the future. So nice. It is very good here to be.
Thank you so much for your precious time, and thank you so much for coming to the Budha Group of Institution as a guest lecturer.
Yeah, it was my honor to come here. Thank you so much for invitation.